Have you ever wondered why some people maintain strong, healthy bones well into their golden years while others struggle with fractures even when they follow their doctor's orders? For decades, the standard advice has remained the same: take calcium, drink milk, and try to stay active. But most doctors only get about 10 hours of nutrition education in medical school, and that was 20 years ago. So here's the question. What if everything you thought you knew about osteoporosis prevention was incomplete or even outdated? Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. Hi friends, I'm William Johnson, your host here on Lifewell Seniors. And today we're having an important conversation about how you can protect your bones, regain your strength, and stay independent through simple science-backed nutrition strategies. We're cutting through the noise and getting right to what really works, what your bones need, what the research actually shows, and what you can do starting today. This episode isn't just about avoiding osteoporosis. It's about reclaiming your energy and confidence one smart choice at a time. So settle in. Stay with me and let's walk through this together. Let's begin with one of the most misunderstood players in bone health: protein. Most people associate protein with muscles, but your bones, they're protein-rich too. In fact, about 22% of your bone matrix is made up of protein. It acts as a scaffold holding calcium and minerals in place. Without enough protein, your bones can't maintain their structure and integrity. Your skeleton isn't static. Every year you replace around 10% of your bone tissue. That's like building a brand new skeleton every decade. And the bricks and mortar of that new skeleton come from the food you eat. Protein also stimulates the production of IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, a hormone that activates osteoblasts, your bone-building cells. Low-protein diets are linked to decreased IGF-1, weaker bones, and a higher fracture risk. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults with low protein intake had significantly lower bone density than their peers. But protein helps in other ways too. It improves calcium absorption. It preserves muscle mass, especially important because muscle strength is directly linked to bone strength. As muscles contract during daily movement, they send stress signals to bones which in turn adapt and become stronger. Sarcopenia. The age-related loss of muscle mass accelerates after age 60, and it dramatically increases the risk of falls and fractures. Let's not forget falls are responsible for the majority of serious injuries in seniors. Strong muscles act like a built-in shock absorber and balance system. The more muscle you have, the better your coordination, the lower your risk of falling. And even if you do fall, the more cushion your body has to protect your bones from fractures. How much protein is enough? Recent studies suggest older adults benefit from 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily. For example, if you weigh 130 pounds, aim for about 104 to 130 grams of protein daily. Spread it across 2-3 meals per day. For best results, try to have one high-protein meal 25 to 40 grams in one sitting. This not only maximizes muscle protein synthesis, but supports bone-building hormones like IGF-1. Can't get enough through food alone. That's okay. High-quality protein powders, whey if you tolerate dairy or pea and soy, if you're plant-based, can help you meet your daily needs. For reference, 2 eggs = 12 grams of protein. 1 scoop of whey protein = 20-25 grams. A palm-sized chicken breast = 30 grams. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment one below to let me know you're with me. Building bone strength through protein is one of the easiest and most overlooked lifestyle changes you can make. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's something you can start today, one meal at a time. Let's move now to something that's often underestimated in bone health: fruits and vegetables. We've all been told to eat more of them for overall health, but most people don't realize that these colorful foods play a critical direct role in keeping your bones dense, resilient, and fracture-resistant. You see, one of the biggest silent threats to bone health is something we don't talk about enough: acidity in the body. Many modern diets, heavy in processed foods, white bread, sugary snacks, and yes, even too much animal protein can create a slightly acidic internal environment. When this happens, the body works hard to keep your blood's pH balanced. But the way it does that, it pulls alkaline minerals like calcium out of your bones to neutralize that acid. Over time, this repeated withdrawal leads to bone thinning quietly and consistently. This is where fruits and vegetables become your everyday protectors. They help maintain an alkaline balance, reducing the need for your body to rob calcium from your bones. So, each time you eat a handful of spinach bite into a juicy orange or enjoy a sweet potato, you're not just feeding your taste buds, you're giving your bones the mineral protection they need. But the power of produce doesn't stop there. These foods are rich in antioxidants, natural compounds like vitamin C polyphenols, flavonoids that fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Inflammation is one of the root causes of accelerated bone breakdown, activating the very cells that dissolve bone tissue while weakening the cells responsible for rebuilding it. Every serving of colorful produce is like sending in reinforcements to defend your bones at the cellular level. Take prunes, for instance. They're often joked about, but clinical studies consistently show that eating just 5 to 10 prunes a day can help maintain or even improve bone density, especially in postmenopausal women. Prunes are packed with polyphenols and a highly bioavailable form of boron A mineral that plays a crucial role in calcium metabolism and bone formation. So don't be too quick to pass up these chewy little superfruits. They're nature's bone-strengthening supplement in disguise. Another major benefit of fruits and vegetables is potassium. While people often associate potassium with bananas and blood pressure, it's also essential for bone strength. Potassium helps the kidneys get rid of excess sodium, which is a major factor in calcium loss through the urine. The more potassium you consume, the more protected your bones become against this subtle mineral leaching effect caused by sodium. And here's something fascinating. Potassium doesn't just stop calcium loss, it also helps improve muscle responsiveness, coordination, and balance. That means fewer falls and fewer fractures, especially for older adults. One study published in Osteoporosis International found that seniors with higher potassium intake had significantly better physical performance and fewer fracture-related hospital visits. So, how much is enough? Aim for 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables each day, leaning toward the higher end if you're managing or preventing osteoporosis. It's okay if that sounds like a lot at first. Start small and build from there. Fresh, frozen, steamed, or even dried, like with prunes, they all count. The key is consistency. Here's a practical rule of thumb. If you're having a palm-sized serving of meat or protein, try to have 4 palm-sized servings of vegetables alongside it. That kind of balance helps keep your body in an alkaline state, supports mineral retention, and gives your bones the nourishment they need to stay strong. And if you're wondering what to choose, go for variety and color. Leafy greens like kale and Swiss chard, orange vegetables like carrots and butternut squash, red and purple berries, citrus fruits and legumes all bring different antioxidants and minerals to the table. The more diverse your plate, the more comprehensive your support for bone health. You don't have to change your entire way of eating overnight. Just start with 1 more serving today than you had yesterday. Your bones will thank you tomorrow and for years to come. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you can make this week to bring more bone-friendly produce onto your plate? Drop it in the comments. I read every one, and I know your idea might encourage someone else too. Shall we move on to the next part? Great. Let's keep the momentum going and move into the next piece of your journey to stronger bones. We've talked about the power of protein and the mineral protective magic of fruits and vegetables. Now let's look at a group of often overlooked nutrients that quietly but profoundly impact your bone health: omega-3 fats, dietary fiber, and the health of your gut microbiome. Let's start with omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats, especially EPA and DHA, are most abundant in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. While they're famous for supporting heart and brain health, research has shown they also play a pivotal role in your bones. One of the key threats to bone integrity is inflammation, and omega-3s are natural inflammation fighters. They calm the body's inflammatory processes, which in turn slows down the action of osteoclasts, the cells responsible for breaking down bone. At the same time, omega-3s enhance the activity of osteoblasts, the cells that build bone. So they essentially help shift your internal chemistry toward rebuilding instead of breaking down. There's real science backing this up. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that older adults who regularly consumed omega-3 rich fish had significantly higher bone mineral density and a reduced risk of fractures, especially in those most vulnerable to bone loss. That's a powerful finding. If you enjoy fish, try to include it at least 2 to 3 times a week. If not, consider a high-quality fish oil supplement that provides between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA daily. That's the dosage range most associated with positive bone and anti-inflammatory effects. Next up is fiber, but not just for digestion. Dietary fiber, especially the kind found in nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains, plays a crucial role in how your body processes minerals. More specifically, fiber supports the health of your gut microbiome, the community of beneficial bacteria living in your digestive tract. These bacteria do far more than aid digestion. When they ferment fiber, they produce compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which help reduce systemic inflammation and improve mineral absorption. A well-fed microbiome also helps your body naturally produce vitamin K2, which we'll talk about more soon. But for now, know this vitamin K2 plays a crucial role in directing calcium into your bones rather than letting it settle in soft tissues like arteries. So by eating more fiber-rich foods, you're setting off a chain reaction that ultimately helps fortify your bones. Some of the best choices for bone-supportive fiber include flax seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, lentils, almonds, walnuts, oats, and legumes. Adding even just a few tablespoons of these to your daily routine, tossed into yogurt, smoothies, soups, or salads, can make a real difference over time. Now, I know some people experience digestive discomfort when increasing fiber suddenly. The key is to go slow. Add a little at a time and drink plenty of water to help your body adjust. You can also supplement with soluble fiber if needed. There are gentle, effective options that support both gut and bone health. And here's an often overlooked benefit. Better gut health often means better mood, better immunity, and yes, better bone strength. When you take care of your digestive system, you're not just improving one area of your health. You're improving your whole internal ecosystem, and bones are a vital part of that system. So how can you put this into action today? Start by asking yourself, when was the last time I had salmon or lentils or a handful of nuts? Could I try adding chia seeds to my breakfast tomorrow morning? Or swapping in a hearty bean soup for lunch one day this week? Even small changes make a difference when they're done consistently. This isn't about overhauling your entire diet overnight. It's about noticing where the gaps are and gently, intentionally filling them in with choices that nourish not just your stomach but your bones. Coming up next, we're going to explore the essential supplements that act as your nutritional safety net, filling in the gaps even the best diets sometimes leave behind. Stay with me. Let's now talk about supplements, the safety net that supports everything we've discussed so far. Even with the best intentions and a well-balanced diet, it's common to miss out on certain nutrients that are absolutely essential for strong, resilient bones. This is where strategic supplementation can be a game-changer. We're not talking about blindly popping calcium pills here. In fact, calcium alone without the right support team won't do much to improve your bone density. Think of your bones like a house. Calcium might be the bricks, but without magnesium, phosphorus, and trace minerals like zinc, boron, and copper, there's no drywall, no nails, no structure to hold it all together. You need the full construction crew, not just the raw materials. That's why a comprehensive bone mineral complex is one of the smartest additions you can make to your routine. This type of supplement contains calcium, but also includes magnesium for activating vitamin D and balancing calcium metabolism, zinc for bone tissue regeneration, manganese, and copper for collagen formation, boron for reducing bone breakdown, and silicon for structural integrity. Each mineral has a job to do, and they work in synergy. If you're choosing a calcium supplement, avoid calcium carbonate as your main source. It's not as easily absorbed. Better choices include calcium citrate, calcium hydroxyapatite, or algae-based calcium. As for magnesium, the ideal daily dose is between 300 and 600 milligrams. Look for well-absorbed forms like magnesium glycinate citrate or threonate. And if your digestive system objects to high doses, that's your body's way of asking you to reduce and adjust. Let's turn now to vitamin D3. This vitamin is absolutely critical for helping your body absorb calcium effectively. Without it, you can take all the calcium you want, and your body still won't be able to use it properly. The tricky part is that many people, even those who live in sunny places, are still deficient in vitamin D. That's because as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing it from sunlight, and we tend to spend more time indoors. What's the right dose? Most people need between 2,000 and 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily to maintain blood levels in the optimal range of 50 to 70 nanograms per milliliter. It's always best to test your levels with your doctor, but if that's not possible right now, starting with 2,000 IU daily is generally safe for most adults. Also remember, take your vitamin D3 with a meal that contains some healthy fat like olive oil, eggs, or nuts to help it absorb properly. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Vitamin K2 is the nutrient that ensures calcium goes where it belongs into your bones and stays out of your arteries. That's right. K2 activates proteins that shuttle calcium into bone tissue while keeping it away from blood vessels and soft tissue. Without enough K2, calcium can end up in the wrong places, contributing to hardening of the arteries and even kidney stones. K2 comes in a few different forms, but the two most important are MK4 and MK7. MK7 is the longer-acting form and is commonly used in most high-quality supplements. Aim for 100 to 200 micrograms per day. Some bone supplements now include both forms along with K1 for full-spectrum support. Together, this trio, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and a complete bone mineral complex, acts like an insurance policy for your bones. It ensures your body has all the critical materials and the instructions it needs to build, maintain, and protect strong skeletal structure throughout your later years. And one last thing, timing matters too. Try to take your bone-supporting supplements with meals, especially ones that contain some fat and protein. This improves absorption and helps your body integrate the nutrients more effectively. Think of this as setting your bones up for success not just today, but 10, 20, 30 years from now. Because bone health is a long game. It's not about a quick fix. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to build better bones quietly, consistently, and powerfully day after day. Coming up, we'll talk about the foods and habits that could be quietly undoing all your hard work. Don't go anywhere. Let's now turn our attention to something just as important as what you add to your diet, what you might need to remove. Because here's the truth, even the most well-designed bone health plan can be quietly sabotaged by common foods and habits that seem harmless on the surface. And the most dangerous part, you might not even realize they're working against you until it's too late. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, sugar. Excess sugar doesn't just spike your blood glucose or add inches to your waistline. It also drives chronic inflammation, one of the key forces behind accelerated bone breakdown. Inflammation activates the very cells that tear down bone tissue, osteoclasts, while impairing the cells that are supposed to rebuild it. Over time, this imbalance leads to porous, fragile bones that can fracture with the slightest fall or bump. Think pastry sodas, candy-sweetened yogurts, or even so-called healthy cereals. Reducing your sugar intake isn't just a move for general health, it's a direct investment in your bone integrity. Next, let's talk about refined carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, processed snack foods. These are often stripped of fiber and essential nutrients, causing similar inflammatory effects in the body as sugar does. Plus, they tend to displace more nutrient-dense foods, meaning you get fewer of the building blocks your bones truly need. If these foods are staples in your day-to-day, even small changes like switching to whole grains or adding legumes can make a big difference over time. Now on to sodium salt. While sodium is essential in small amounts, the problem is we tend to get far too much of it, especially from processed foods, canned soups, deli meats, and packaged snacks. When sodium levels are high, your kidneys respond by flushing out the excess. Unfortunately, they also excrete calcium in the process. So every time you overload on sodium, you're potentially pulling calcium out of your bones. Over time, that adds up. Here's what you can do. Reduce processed food intake. Cook more meals at home using herbs and spices for flavor, and drink plenty of water to help your body flush excess sodium more gently. And don't forget the protective power of potassium-rich foods like sweet potatoes, spinach, bananas, and oranges. Potassium helps offset the calcium-depleting effects of sodium and supports muscle and nerve function to help prevent falls. Now, let's touch briefly on caffeine. Most people love their morning coffee, and there's nothing wrong with that in moderation. But more than 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, that's about 3 to 4 cups of coffee, can interfere with calcium absorption and increase calcium loss through the urine. If you're someone who drinks multiple cups of coffee or enjoys energy drinks, consider cutting back or swapping some cups for herbal teas, which are more bone-friendly. Alcohol is another factor that can interfere with your bones. In excess, it disrupts the body's ability to absorb calcium, slows down vitamin D conversion, and even impairs the work of osteoblasts, the cells that build bone. Again, moderation is key. 1 drink per day for women, 2 for men is the upper limit. And if you're at high risk for osteoporosis, even less may be beneficial. Now, one of the most sneaky and destructive bone saboteurs, acidic beverages, especially sodas and energy drinks. Many of these are high in phosphoric acid, which increases calcium loss through the urine and disrupts your calcium-phosphorus balance. Several studies have linked high soda consumption to lower bone mineral density, particularly in older adults and postmenopausal women. Simply replacing soda with water, herbal tea, or mineral-rich broths can be a simple yet impactful way to protect your bone density over time. Processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, deli meats, and sausages are also problematic. Not only are they often loaded with sodium, but many contain phosphorus additives. When your phosphorus intake is too high and not properly balanced with calcium and magnesium, your body may start drawing calcium from your bones to restore balance. Choosing fresh, unprocessed protein sources like eggs, poultry, beans, or fish will support both your bones and your overall health. Now, let's address a topic that tends to generate a lot of confusion: dairy. Some experts praise it for its calcium content, while others point to high fracture rates in countries with the highest dairy intake. So what's the truth? It's nuanced. Dairy can be a great source of calcium, but it's not right for everyone. Many older adults experience digestive distress or low-grade inflammation when consuming regular dairy, especially if they have lactose intolerance or sensitivity to casein, the main protein in milk. Here's what I recommend. If dairy works well for you, focus on fermented options like yogurt, kefir, and aged cheeses. These not only provide calcium but also contain probiotics that improve gut health and help your body absorb more nutrients. But if dairy causes bloating, fatigue, or skin reactions, consider shifting toward plant-based sources of calcium like leafy greens, almonds, tahini, or fortified plant milks, and make sure your supplement program is dialed in. At the end of the day, it's not about perfection, it's about awareness. The goal isn't to eliminate every indulgence, it's to recognize the daily patterns that either build you up or wear you down and make better choices more often than not. Coming up next, we're going to round things out by talking about the lifestyle habits that anchor everything you've learned: movement, sleep, stress, and mindset. It's where the science meets your everyday life. Don't go away. Now that we've explored what to eat, what to avoid, and how to supplement smartly, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle: your lifestyle. Because even the best diet won't work in isolation. Your daily habits, the way you move, rest, manage stress, and think, can either reinforce everything you've built or slowly chip away at it. Let's start with movement. Your bones are living tissue. Just like muscles, they get stronger when they're challenged and weaker when they're ignored. Every time you walk, climb stairs, carry groceries, or do a push-up, you're placing healthy stress on your bones. That stress sends a clear signal: hey, we're being used better, reinforce ourselves. This process is called mechanical loading, and it's essential for maintaining and building bone density as you age. The most beneficial forms of movement for bone health are weight-bearing and resistance exercises. Weight-bearing includes activities like walking, dancing, hiking, or light jogging. Resistance training includes lifting weights using resistance bands, or even doing body weight exercises like squats, wall push-ups, and step-ups. You don't have to go to a gym or lift heavy. Start where you are. A set of light dumbbells or a chair-based strength routine at home can do wonders. Aim for at least 2 to 3 sessions a week and try to incorporate movement into your daily life, taking the stairs standing while folding laundry or doing leg lifts while brushing your teeth. These micro movements add up. And don't forget about balance and flexibility. key components in preventing falls, which are the leading cause of fractures in older adults. Gentle practices like yoga or Tai Chi improve stability, coordination, and awareness of your body in space. Even just 5 minutes of daily balance practice like standing on one foot while holding a chair for support can dramatically lower your risk of falling. Now let's talk about sleep. This is one area that's often overlooked in bone health conversations, but it's absolutely essential. Your body does its most important repair and rebuilding work during sleep, including bone remodeling. Growth hormone peaks at night, and bones use this time to integrate the minerals and nutrients you've given them during the day. If you're consistently sleeping less than 6 hours a night, or if your sleep is interrupted and restless, your body's ability to regenerate bone tissue is compromised. Sleep deprivation also increases cortisol, a stress hormone that directly weakens bones over time. So what can you do? Prioritize a consistent bedtime, create a calming wind-down routine, keep your room cool and dark, and reduce screen time before bed. Small steps like cutting caffeine after noon or adding a magnesium supplement in the evening can make a real difference. That brings us to stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which not only drains your energy and weakens your immune system, it also leads to bone loss. Cortisol interferes with the bone remodeling process, favoring breakdown over building. And while you can't remove all sources of stress, life happens, you can build a toolkit to respond more gently. Practices like deep breathing meditation, journaling, prayer, or spending quiet time in nature can regulate your nervous system and lower cortisol. Even simply sitting in silence with a warm cup of tea or talking to a trusted friend can provide a powerful reset. Here's something that's just as important as any food or supplement: your mindset. The belief that you can improve your bone health at any age is not just hopeful, it's backed by science. Studies show that bone is dynamic and adaptable well into your 70s and even 80s. That means every single step you take, every nourishing meal, every rep of a leg, curl or squat, every night of deep sleep, it all counts. And here's the beauty of it: you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Show up for your body again and again with care and intention. Over time, your bones will respond. They'll become denser, stronger, and better able to support the life you want to live. So let's recap what we've covered in this journey. Protein, fruits and vegetables, omega-3s and fiber-smart supplements, avoiding common dietary pitfalls, and now building a lifestyle rooted in movement, rest, and emotional well-being. This isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term, sustainable plan to help you feel stronger, more confident, and more in control of your health. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. I hope today's episode has given you not just information but inspiration, a sense of purpose and direction for protecting your bones and reclaiming your vitality. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's one lifestyle change you're going to commit to this week for the sake of your bones? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to cheer you on. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lifewell Seniors. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs, uplifts, and empowers our amazing community. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep living well.